Hello, everyone. This is another episode of On the Narrow Path, and today I'm working on wrapping presents for Zachary. So I thought I would bring you along and we'll talk about things as I'm getting some stuff done because it needs to get done. So, yeah, I've got in 2 days, I have a birthday party for Zachary to do. We don't actually celebrate birthdays very much. It's not a real big deal for Tim and I, unless our friends make it a big deal, which is fine. We don't mind that. If they do, then we'll go ahead and celebrate. But other than that, we just kind of let it go past. I guess it's just I didn't grow up with it, but also I think it's every day should be a special day. And learning how to make it a special day is kind of our own job instead of, from my opinion. You know, it's okay for other people to celebrate. I'm not down on that. I'm just telling you kind of personally, you know, when you have to just look forward to certain days, only certain days in the whole year to be excited about, and the rest of the days are mundane, or they're just like you're just wishing they would, you know, go away so that you could just go to the days that you like, you know, the traditional days of holidays and feeling special and all that stuff. You know, it can be kind of a drag to just like drag yourself from one weekend to another, or one celebration to another, instead of recognize that there's a celebration to have every day. And honestly, I don't celebrate every day. People that know me know I don't celebrate every day, but you know, I do better than I used to. I used to be very severely depressed, so you know, now that's gone, and you know, there's still some days that are better than others, but I have found the secret. As long as I keep practicing, that helps the days to become a present in themselves. So I want to talk about the presence of God and how it's everywhere all the time, wherever you're at, and how dark it is in your life or how light is in your life, whatever's going on, you know, he's always there. And we talk about it, and it seems ethereal to talk about it. Like, okay, yeah, it's there, but I don't feel it. So, you know, if we're going to talk spiritual talk, it's there. But if we're going to talk reality, well, yeah, I know it's there, but I don't feel it's there. And that's where many people are at in their life. And I think that that's normal. I'm going to go grab one of the presents. I'll be right back. So you're gonna see the presents before he does. Zachary loves puzzles, so I bought him a puzzle pad to go at the center. That helps him to be able to continue to do the puzzles as they transition, because sometimes they only do a puzzle like for an hour or something like that, and then they have to put it away so that they can eat or do whatever other activity. So this will be something they'll be able to wrap up his whatever he's working on, and be able to give it back to him later to finish. They also help each other out. They, a lot of them like puzzles there. So this will be something that will help Zachary, but other people come along and help him do the puzzle as well. So that's the birthday gift for him. It's kind of hard sometimes to shop for him, just because, you know, he's a little more simple. Zachary's probably at a developmental stage in some ways around a 3 or 4 year old, but he doesn't talk that well either, so it's very hard to understand him and communicate, even for me. Sometimes, you know, you have to know the little cues and tips and things that he says in order to catch what he's going for, and sometimes I just have to say, God, you got to help me here. I have no idea what's going on. So that in itself, I am telling you to face that every day. You really want to believe in God's presence. Really do. So how do we get to feeling better in the day and feeling like every day is a present? See, we talk about this. I mean, you've heard this before. You've heard these type of concepts and everything else. And we go, oh, that's so true. But sometimes we don't know how to apply it and actually get it to work. And many of the podcasts, actually, I talk about these type of things, right? So probably you have already seen some other ones and gotten some ideas. And this one is one just to stop. So you've heard me talk about, going slower, like once an hour, putting a timer on, like once an hour, and just slow down and breathe for a second, because we get so busy. I said this in the last podcast that we forget to just slow down, and you can't have true connection without it, right? So here's the deal is that we're all looking, many people feel lonely, right? And they feel like drained of energy. And there's some people that actually run away from people as well, because they're so overwhelmed and overstimulated throughout the day that having people around is it's just too much. I've been in those situations at times on both ends. You're either lonely or you want to be left alone, right? And you're just overwhelmed. And both of those cues, whether you are lonely or wanting to be left alone, can be major indicators. They're usually byproducts of being too fast in life. And talking about time, we think that we have responsibilities, or we either feel like we have responsibilities and we have to go fast, fast, fast. For those that may feel lonely and want to have more, interaction that's in depth. And then there's the other people that at all costs try to avoid other people. And that is just using your time in ways to just take care of yourself, or do as little. You're using all of your time to avoid. I mean, how much fun is that? For some of you, you probably think, well, I like my private time. I'm saying there's a balance to everything. And the problem with just doing things to try to just be on your own is that I don't know how, although notice I'm saying just be on your own. So there's times to be on your own. There's a balance in everything, a time to be with people and a time not to be with people, a time to build, a time to destroy. Just, different ideas like in Ecclesiastes, right? Ecclesiastes chapter 3. So I think that it's time to understand that you only have so much time, and therefore how to take advantage of the present moment so that you can use your time wisely, and as you get older, feel good about the way you spent your time. And the way that we evaluate if you've spent your time well is based on, you've heard me say this a million times, and people sometimes get upset and start rolling their eyes when I say it once again, is if you've used your time to love God with all your heart, might, and soul, and that means put Him first and His ways first, and His way is to love your neighbor as yourself for the love of God. That's how we show that we love Him, because He first loved us. So you've heard these concepts before, but it's a second by second decision to do, and that second by second decision happens in the present, now. And then now. And then now. And we don't always make the right decision. I don't even make the right decision. I can talk about this stuff, but I'm still practicing. I don't, anybody that knows me knows, I'll tell you right up front, just because I share this and I'm better at it, I am not perfect at it at all. I still am growing and learning with the rest of you. But the more that I do practice it, the more I feel the presence of God. The more I feel connected, the more I feel happier with what I am building, as well as my relationships with others. And also the inspiration comes, connection with the presence, with the present moment, and with the presence, capital P, presence of God that's always there. helps bring inspirations on how to deal with tough situations so that you don't feel alone in it. And also, if you don't know what to do, either not feel alone in it, or actually usually you get inspiration on how to deal with it. You say, well, I never feel anything. I'm not a feeler. You, Katrina, obviously are a feeler, and I'm not a feeler. Well, I am here to tell you that I have helped many people that are not feelers learn how to feel. And one of the things that has to be done, whether you feel or not, is to slow down and recognize that he is present at all times, and his laws and his words and his ways are present at all times. And so when you put into practice being present with his majesty presence, capital P, then things grow. Things change in your life. There's more value to things. And the wonderful thing is the thing that you are building the most and the best are things that will last for eternity. Right? So busy work, it's all going to burn. You've heard me say that before. It's all going to burn. You know, there's scriptures that talk about, you know, somebody else will inherit everything that you make when you die. It all burns. The only thing they can't inherit are the characteristics that you've grown from in God. You know, they're your own. And hopefully you've inspired others to be able to encourage them on to good works in your life. And you get to keep that for eternity. But the rest of it's temporary. All of it. So, once an hour, set your alarm and just take a breath and say, God, thank you that you are present with me always. And you are wonderful, present, right? Gift, still working on it. One of them. And just, you know, thank you that you're here, even if I don't feel like you're here and I feel like you're up in heaven somewhere and not here with me. Thank you that that's not true, that you're with me. Slowing down and practicing that even once an hour will start to shift things for you. With time, you'll start to get to where you will recognize that you can stay slower all the time and be able to stay connected. And you have time to do that because I've said this before. If you slow down and do this, you find out that time somehow, the laws of time in our physical time, they work. They change. Just for you. Because God says that if you focus on him, seek him, the kingdom, and his righteousness, then all these things will be added to you. That's a miracle. Because from our point of view, what happens is if we spend time with God or we spend time slowing down, then we're guilty and we're not doing enough, and then we're slackers and, you know, all the guilt trips that the world puts on you, right? But the truth is, doing it God's way makes everything that you do more of a gift to everyone around you because it's infused with God's way of doing it. You've set the example, which is way more important. And if you're going slower, you're truly looking at them and connecting with them more. You know, even if you're busy, notice I am looking at you right now and we're having a conversation and I'm doing this slowly, even when I'm busy. So it doesn't mean you can't get stuff done, but it does mean that it's important to learn how to be present. So be the present in the present moment with his presence. And therefore, you get gifted. So that's the whole goal of what we're doing and what we're trying to do. And that is what we were created for. We were created for connection. We were created to be present with his presence and to enjoy that. He wants us to have full joy. He wants us to take the things that we do in life and share it with him. He gave us the life, but he wants us of our own free will to want to share it, right? Share it with him back. Include him. He's a gentleman, though. If you want to do it on your own strength, he'll let you. He'll let you figure it out and find out that it's lonely to do it that way. Some of us who are in first world countries that have the ability to be on our own and do things our own way, are not as gifted as those that know that community and people are important. Because in truth, in order for you to have time, it took other people working to provide things for you. And so when you can recognize that and honor that and give back to what you're taking from, there's more satisfaction in the end. And you don't pass decades of your life on your own and going, I wish I would have done something different. So make those choices. And, I don't want to just a pep talk here. I'm not into just pep talks. I'm really not. I don't like to just say nice little things and for you to listen to them and feel like that you feel gifted in the moment and like you did some kind of great work and in just listening and you feel pumped up and then you walk away just to go on with your natural life, thinking that, okay, at least I did some kind of studying or thinking on God, so I feel good and get that little spurt of feeling like you've been gifted for the moment. Don't do that. Life is short. Get your clock out now. Find a clock. I mean, your phone has a clock. There's alarms everywhere. I mean, they're very simple to get. They're cheap. You can get an alarm, just a little alarm to carry in your pocket for $2 these days. It's not very expensive, so it can be done. Make it a goal to do that, because look, it's just not worth staying alone. It's not worth just wasting one more day without thinking about the presence of God being with you. If you want to change your life so that it feels more like a gift, more like that the present moment is a present, the only way that you can perceive the present that it is and be excited about the present that it is and be able to unwrap the present and try to understand the greatness of the gifts that you unwrap. The only way you can do that is to be connected with the gift giver. Right? And the gift giver, obviously, is your creator. So hopefully that helps to encourage you, and I'll continue to wrap the next present. I'll show you what it is, the second present for Zachary, just so that you can see it. There you go. So there's our puzzle. Looks like some animals that God made. He loves animals. He'll talk about animals all the time. So that will be something that he'll enjoy. Well, I give you just blessings upon blessings, and I hope that you are able to put in some of these just very simple. It doesn't even take 5 minutes a day, what I'm asking you to do, but they make a huge difference. I mean, this doesn't just work for me. I did this. And I've learned to stay slow, and sometimes I get fast and I recognize it, I admit it, but overall, more and more, I am slow and I make sure to connect. And if I don't get things done, I mean, look at this. This is how bad I don't get things done. And you think it's just my office? No, it's not. It's everywhere. Look, there's just, I've got piles of stuff, And to you say, well, that's tame compared to my place, but actually this is tame compared to, other places in my house. So things don't have to be perfect, the thing that, and you're saying, well, if I let it go, then it won't get done. Yeah, probably. That happens to me, but that's not important. What's important is the connections you make, because loving God with your whole heart, might, and soul, and loving your neighbors yourself is about connection. And those last forever. The rest of this, it will pass away. I know I've said it over and over again. I'm trying to convince you this way works, and it feels so much better than being fast and thinking that you're responsible for the whole world by yourself, and God won't be happy with you unless you get it all done yourself. It's not true. He wants to do it with you. He wants to inspire you as you go along and do it, and for you to come up with ways of creating and doing things together that make it way much more fun. Trust me, there is a difference. And you can pray for it just once an hour. And I promise you, if you keep at it, those who diligently seek him will find him. If you're diligent about this and you make this a habit and you really mean it, that this is what you want, to really feel his presence and to have his presence, I promise it will grow. I promise it will. All right. Blessings to you all.